Welcome to Still Evolving, where we explore the truth behind lasting performance and resilience. Rather than relying on perfection or superhuman ability, our conversation highlights how real strength emerges through simple, intentional habits grounded in adaptability, self-compassion, and ability to grow through life's inevitable setbacks. Today's guest is Philip Samuel Raj. Philip is the founder and CEO of Techjays, a global AI innovation firm with a mission to help every business and individual transform with AI. Before the world woke up to ChatGPT, Philip was building generative AI systems at Google. With deep expertise in AI product development and strategy, he combines the technical depth with a gift for translating complexity into business impact. He has led the design and launch of AI platforms used by startups and Fortune 500s alike. Philip often speaks on generative AI, organizational culture, and the intersection of leadership, people, and technology. At Techjays, he's pioneering a new kind of company, one that pairs world-class engineering with joyful, purpose-driven work. Please welcome Philip to the show. Philip, welcome to Still Evolving. I'm grateful for you to join in on this conversation today. I'm excited to learn from you, the lessons learned from your journey. And so why don't we kick off, if we can, you sharing back a little bit about maybe where you've come from, what you're working on now, and the highlights in between that.
Wonderful. Great to be here, Dr. Amy, and looking forward to a great conversation. About me, I've been the founder and CEO of Techjays. We've run for about five plus years now in the AI transformation space and doing very well. And my journey, I was born in India, grew up there, went to school, moved to the States for work in 2020 and been here ever since. Worked on both consulting companies and then product companies. So I'm just a mix of both. Lived in more places than here in the US than the average American. And here I am. Hello from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Wow, fantastic. You know, the AI space, it is so, well, first of all, I've learned for those who've been in tech, AI is not as new as perhaps consumers like me. Feels like our world has been completely upside down. But nonetheless, it is a very fast-paced, dynamic industry. And so with that, I would imagine as a leader of a company and teams that you've kind of taken some punches and hits along the way. The challenge that maybe comes with unpredictability, ambiguity, the complexity, the dynamic. Can you talk a little bit about when, as a leader, you or your team have experienced adversity or challenge? What has helped navigate that and not just survive it, but more importantly, grow through and find opportunities, even perhaps in the midst of chaos?
Absolutely. There have been many scenarios like that, right? What Techjays started off more as hey, I can build great software. I can put together great teams of people, right? And we're like, hey, a bunch of friends building great software together. To now a 220 plus organization that is rapidly adapting to being in a forefront of AI innovation. So one of the things that I have helped as through any change that comes across or any adversity also that comes across is that one, is our vision right? If we have that vision right, and do we stick true to that particular vision? For us, it has always been, how can we build a great company, right? A great company for our people, our employees, everybody building together, and a great company for our customers who are actually solving their problems very, very well. And with that, what we believe is that we'll be able to create a lot of value for our customers and capture those values and give those to that value and give those to our employees. So that's the whole part. So the vision is always to be building a great company. So when adversity hits someone like, what would a company, as a great company, what would we want to be known for? How would we handle that? That's been a very good rule of thumb. The other part is with respect to the mission. And it has been, our mission is, hey, how can we help transform every individual and every business with AI? And are we true to our mission? And through all of that, as you've seen, like, hey, any problem that comes across, what can we learn from it? How can we stay true to our mission and our vision? And how can we do the best thing possible? What is the right thing to do? That has been our guiding principles, and we've always found that these actually pay off in the long run, even when there can be a short-term pain.
Yeah, oftentimes that right choice, right path is not the easy one.
Yes.
And it's certainly not always the one that affords short-term reinforcement, satisfaction. right? Most commonly, it's hard. It wears on you. Take hits, maybe even from externally, like your brand, or perhaps unsatisfied stakeholder, whether that's internal or external. But it is a challenge to reflect and hold dear to that vision and mission. And as a leader, that optimistic vision, how critical that is. And it's easy to get pulled. I mean, we're pulled in so many different directions. Many of us as leaders, I think we're drawn to meet expectations and want to help. And yet you could get split, especially as a startup, right? You could go in so many other directions that become distracting. So how do you, with your people, I heard you talk about to be a great company, it means taking care of our people. What have you found that has been most effective as a leader when you see your people perhaps struggling with that short-term pain or the challenge, right? What have you found that can help them rise and keep going?
What I've found in the short term is like when it is short term pain, what I've found to most help is clarity in messaging and being as transparent as we can and give the details. Yes, this is why we're doing it. And most people seem to respond positively to that. And overall, as a philosophy at the workplace, what we've had is the workplace should be fun and easy, while work should be challenging and hard. We're here to solve hard problems, really hard problems, right? So while work is challenging and hard, the workplace is fun and easy and the best workplace people can have. Nothing bogs people down. We even have a culture team which actually helps people, which is like, hey, they're directly report to the CEO, to me, and then they work with the people to ensure that the workplace as such, there are no distractions, we take care, they're very well taken care of, so that they are free to go and solve all of the challenging problems. This framework as such has also largely helped. And what I've also found as a leader is that you can't make everybody happy.
Yes.
When I used to chase that, right? You can't make everybody happy, but largely if you're dimensionally right, and we need to double down on the people who are doing well, providing them all of the support, well, there would be a certain amount of people who actually this doesn't resonate well with them and they're not going to fit into the Techjays culture.
That makes sense. We talk a lot when we talk about holistic high performance, we're talking about the human system, right? And all of us are impacted by the load that we carry, maybe from relationships, both in our personal lives, work lives, the physical demands, the cognitive demands that we are dealing with, relational communication challenges, right? And what I hear you talking about, one thing that working with your culture team especially, is taking a look at where can we offset some of that load, the unnecessary load in this company. And maybe that's in their daily work experience. Maybe it's in the office experience. Maybe that's those other, you were talking about with a culture team. If you can offset that load so that there is more bandwidth, if you will, in tackling this very challenging problem that we're trying to execute on. Absolutely. Yeah. For you along the way, we talk a good bit in mitigating that load individually with recovery and how we take care of ourselves as high performers. What have you found kind of helps you continue this grind and be able to sustain that career growth?
Yeah. What I've noticed that because I love what I do, it is invigorating, and it seems to gain energy from work. You seem to gain energy from talking to people. I have a hard time actually shutting my mind down, my brain off, because I'm like always buzzing. Hey, I do this. Here's like an interesting problem. Very few things actually bog me down. For example, admin related work, or here like, hey, financial reports that we need to, spreadsheets. Those kind of bog me down, like legal work. All of those bog me down. Those are the only things that I have to push through. The rest of the work, I'm like always buzzing. But from taking care of myself, number one, my faith is very important to me. Spending time in prayer in the morning and, going to church on Sunday regularly, that is very important to me. Giving back is important to me, which is like, hey, had a mission trip to Haiti the last week of December. For 3 days, which was like amazing, gave me perspective, so much that, hey, all of my problems are actually rich people problems, not necessarily, that kind of a perspective. And also the other side, it's not like, hey, it pushes me to do better at my work because I've been I'm so blessed to have an amazing opportunity to change the world. I need to do this bigger. I need to do this better and be a lot more successful so I can help the world. That keeps me. I try to be as regular with my workouts as well and try to get at least 6 hours of sleep. I'm good at 7.5 hours of sleep. So I try to prioritize all of those, eat healthy, those are things that I like to do. Those have helped. Not that I'm perfect. I travel quite a bit and these go RE, but I like to keep that way.
Some of those fundamentals, right? I think you highlight we're all human. It's not going to be perfect. Life throws like these realistic challenges to it. Travel, you mentioned. But if keeping those foundations in mind, of where you could probably miss a night or two, but like you got to get back on the wagon, or miss a workout or two, you got to get back on the wagon. So crucial. Beyond kind of those neurophysiological or biological foundations, you really highlighted the power that comes from connection. And you talk about that with a higher power through your faith, but also the actions that come with that connection, the service trip that you described, how it then trickles into our mindset, in our perspective taking. And I kind of joke, it's easy sometimes to get bogged down. We're going like one Zoom to another Zoom or a frustrating email. And then to have those moments where you can take a step back and remind yourself, like, actually, this is the stress that comes from the opportunity I was seeking for many years. So this is actually a good problem to have. The perspective and the mindset there is so crucial. So it's a very, very holistic, and what you're describing kind of keeps you going.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, truly, what I've found is one of my favorite statements is, hey, we make a living by what we make. We make a life by how we give. So that, that amount of travel in, as part of service and connecting with a lot of people and being inspired by them. To see incredible examples of fortitude, of resilience. There's this kid there in Haiti, spoke fluent English. I was surprised because in Haiti they speak French and Haitian Creole. I was like, how did you learn it? Learn it all on YouTube. All on YouTube. He was flawless.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it
makes me feel lazy.
Exactly. Think about it, right? And he did sound very formal because that's how he had actually learned. He hadn't learned how to, and he hardly has anybody to practice with on.
Wow.
And it's a 15-year-old kid. So you think of these examples of hardworking people. Another guy that I met, and he goes to college twice a week because he's trying to learn, he's trying to come up with. He works 40 hours as a tailor and 40 hours a week as an electrician, plus going to college 2 days a week. And he's like works 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's the amount of hard work that there are kids that are working hard because they know they want to go up, they want to grow in their career. The ceiling is very low. They don't have a lot of opportunities. So now contrasting that with, hey, we have all the opportunities in the world. So much to be grateful for. And also because we have these opportunities, how well are we taking advantage of these opportunities? When a kid in Haiti can learn English by just YouTube without spending any additional dollar, how can we showcase resilience and innovation and fortitude and going over and solving all of the problems that we have? And we create a better world for people around us. For, how can I create a better world for my employees, for all of TechJ's employees, for all of TechJ's customers? So that is so motivating.
Absolutely. Such power there. Just the reminder of how many people in life find a way, with very limited resources. And so it's almost a mindful cue, right? Of let's not miss in the adversity that we may experience, also what is present to help us grow, to help us give back, and certainly develop your team, your company, and what you're delivering. Fantastic. Can you talk a bit about maybe who influenced you? I hear in perhaps now your service, but as you grew through your career as a leader, were you coached? Were you mentored? Who did you learn from?
Yes.
And kind of impacting you now as the leader that you are?
I have been fortunate, right, with respect to my bosses, people I work for, my grandfather, my dad, and so on. So there are like all of these multiple influences that I've had who have all been very influential in the man I am, the leader I am. For example, my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, was the one where I learned hard work from. He worked incredibly hard, and he told me also like there were times when he used to work 20 hours a day, relentlessly, and he was an absolute self-made man. He moved from his village to the town that I was born in with nothing. Right? And he built everything, built multiple businesses, built a family, had my mom educated in one of the best schools, best colleges, and my aunt, and so on. And with my dad, I learned intrinsic goodness, how to be, and my service, and all of that comes from him. And I had incredible bosses. Most recently, Air Vivo, that I was a founding member of, and then previously in Vivint Wireless, and then in Vivint. This is Mike Hart. He's now the CEO of Air Vivo. Incredible boss. I learned a lot from him. And one of the things that I learned is that he completely empowered you, helped you go over and solve problems, and he acted more like a guide / a coach. And I went over and achieved things that I did not believe I was capable of, like that magic, to be able to get that done. Like, incredible boss. I've also had great bosses, like Chris Fulham, again at Vivint, was a great boss. Damayanti, my boss at Cognizant, she was the first boss, rest in peace, she's no more. But she opened my eyes to the same, like, hey, how a manager can actually empower somebody and help them achieve great things. So I've had all of these great people who I've learned from. And as Isaac Newton famously said, achieved so much because we are standing on the shoulders of giants.
I love it. So it's not just those connections, your openness to learn from them and really seeking that out. So powerful. Typically, we wrap up with an opportunity for you to share back with our audience that immediate actionable strategy or tool that really helps you continue in this journey. Certainly, life can be unpredictable. We talked about the fast-paced changing dynamic, and you've alluded to some of those foundations that help you sustain high performance in your leadership as well as just in your being, right? In whatever role, father, partner. But do you have a kind of go-to, something that you find in your daily routine or weekly routine that just really helps ground you and continue in this journey?
Yeah, I tell this to my kids, like, it's just a threefold beat. It's kind of like something that I repeat to myself. First off, love God, love your neighbor. Number two, work incredibly hard. Three, always be learning. Those three has been my go-to.
Mantra.
My mantra. Yes, which is those three. And I repeat that to my kids a lot as well. And I think that has helped me a lot. The same, it comes with the openness, the gratitude towards all that we have. And also, there's so much to learn from, so many people around us to learn from. Yeah. And so, to always be learning and working incredibly hard, applying that learning all the time, which has helped me so far. I'm still on the journey, right? I would like to learn. I don't have all the answers.
I said, once you start learning, you realize how much you have to learn.
Yes.
So much that you don't know. But I love the mantra in the world of so much what I consider noise, right? We are blessed with information, and yet the power that can come in just centering into those three core components of how we can love each other, be open and curious and learn and certainly embrace that work ethic. So powerful. I hope everyone considers what mantra can help ground you in the midst of their journey. So Philip, thank you so much for joining me today. Grateful for the conversation and look forward to many more.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Amy.